we've had a question come in from one of our admin team, Dan Halifax. This is a cracking question, actually. Which of the current City team would get into the 69 or the 70 squad that you played in? You know, from obviously we had a fantastic team.
Yeah.
You played with. Which out of the current team would get into that squad?
I know. I've been asked this before. Like, you know, what's the thing is? I mean, the way. I mean, there is a different type of way they play today, like with the possession and this and the other. Where we used to play teams in our day, where I mean, I was all around the ball. I could play, and that's what I relied on. But in our day, there was some sort of like centre forward, centre back, who just ploughed through you. You know, didn't have much ability on the ball, but off it they could defend and this and the other. Where this City today, I mean, the way they played the game, I mean, and you can see other teams over the years ago trying to get into that playing system, playing out from the back. Now, I know for the fact, and you lads will see it for the fact, that there's some lads at the back who are uncomfortable on the ball and get rid of it as soon as possible. They won't accept it in tricky places where this City team, I mean, and it's how Pep Guardiola's does his teams. I mean, they can all play on the ball. They're all good on the ball. And they're all wanting, and he's got an hell of a record of where he's been, and which I'm just so glad he's come to City, and he's produced all the goods. I think the only one he does want is we know the only one he wants is the Champions League.
Fingers crossed for this year.
Yeah.
You're not many people know this, but you provided the assist for Dennis Stewart at Wembley. The header, I think it was.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the build up to that and what you were doing in that position? Were you driving forward at that point from midfield?
Yeah, and I was playing in midfield. I'd come back from that back injury, as I said, and I had got into midfield, and we ended up at the cup final. And it was always the dumb thing where they tried to isolate me on the back post, and I get it back in the danger area and see if anyone could score. But after the game, that we all know what happened. I knocked it across and overhead kick, and after the final whistle had gone, and we're going in the dressing room, we've won the game, we've got our medal. Dennis is on the camera on BBC and IT, whoever it was, like, and he says, and I could hear him, and he's like, oh yeah, we practice this every week. We've been practicing it every week. It says, what we do, we isolate Tommy on the far post. He says, he heads it back, and I overhead kick it in. And I went, I thought, what? Anyway, well, you know, Dennis is Dennis, like, you know. And he got hold of me, like, I said, so that's a rearranged free kick? I said, yeah. It says, not all of it's true, but it ended up in the back of the net. But it was that was a great moment. Yeah.
Brilliant. And it's we've just had a cracking question come in, and I really don't want to put this to you, but I think I'm going to have to. It's such a good question. Colin Bell or David Silva?
Oh God!
What a question that is. Who's after that? Johnny Hyde. Crikey, what a question. That is really putting it up against.
John, tell Johnny he knows his players, but the thing is, the two together would be fantastic because the different types of midfielders. Colin was all power, all play, great runs, long. David Silva's the one who gets it, keeps it, this, that, and the other. I mean, they would have been great together, but I've got to go with Colin Bell because I still see him.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah, I can understand that.
We still do the hospitality. If he sees this, he won't talk to me.
Oh, brilliant! That's amazing. You've got so many happy memories at City, haven't you? You look back and you've won some fantastic things for us in a brilliant period for City.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fantastic time and all. You know, I mean, I got in the side through us going out to Fenerbahce, like, you know, I was sick as anyone coming back on the plane, but little did I know that was my intro into the team, and then we went on to win the FA Cup, and won a couple of League Cups, European Cup, Winners' Cup. You know, it was great, yeah, great times.
Was there that? Did you think when you joined, Tommy, that, you know, you said you won, you know, within a year you began to win all these trophies? Was that willing mentality? Was that really already there? Did you have that just little feeling, that vibe when you joined, that we're onto something here? You know, as you said, you were surrounded by great players, but, you know, we come up from the second division. You know, we were in the first division then. Was there that feeling amongst the squad that we're onto something here? We're gonna clean up. We're gonna start winning everything.
Yeah, I mean, you have a feeling that in the side itself, you know, I mean, the likes I was playing with, like Fanny Lee, Mike Summerby, Neil Young, Colin Bell. You look at the team, like, and Tony Buck, who was manager, who came from, where was it, third division time, wasn't he? Like, but someone, and what it was, I mean, I don't know if you know the story about that. The story goes, Malcolm said to Joe Mercer, we need a fullback, you know, obviously a right fullback. King was like, they were struggling for a right fullback. And he said, we've got the one. And Malcolm knew Tony from years gone by. And he said, he's Tony Buck, and he's playing for some non-league club or some lower league club. And Joe says, oh yeah, right, I'll go and have a look at him. How old is he? And Malcolm said, oh, I don't know how old he is. Anyway, he goes to see him. Joe Mercer comes back and says, yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, he said, no, we're not signing a 33-year-old, 34-year-old. So Malcolm said, he's not 33, he's not 30. We can get him after. He said, he's 30. He said, he's not. So Malcolm got his birth certificate. This is a gospel truth, this, and doctored it and took 4 or 5 years off Bucky's wage, of his age, and literally gave it and said, there's his birth certificate. He just looks that age. And that's the true story. That's the true story. And to this day, Tony's still knocking about. He's still good. Everything's right about him, and he still won't tell us his proper age. So no one's got a clue.
That's fantastic. I love that.
But they reckon he could have been in his mid-30s when they signed him. But like I say, Malcolm doctored his birth certificate.
That's brilliant. I love that.
Which only Malcolm would, like, you know.
Yeah.
And tell you what a signing. The following year, he won Player of the Year with the other. Who did he get it with? Derby County lad, Dave Mackay. Dave Mackay and Tony Buck. They won it to get. They shared it, didn't they, that season?
Yeah.
Did great player, Tony. Great captain as well. He was. Yeah.
Was there any point in your career where I'm thinking back here to a reading I've done about you when Dave Watson signed for City from Sunderland, Newcastle, Sunderland? I think
Sunderland.
Yeah. Was there ever a point in your City career where you didn't think you'd be at City, where, you know, sort of Dave Watson came in and you think you'd have to move on? Obviously, you were put into midfield, which was later, but were you nervous at that point when he came in?
No. Well, what it was, I mean, like I said, that back operation, I was still in hospital when they needed the centre half, so they went and signed Dave Watson, who's a lovely lad, great lad, Dave, great player as well, lad. And because they didn't know, I mean, like I said, when I first got out of bed after 2 or 3 weeks, I thought, talk about football, like I said, I'd be lucky to walk again. And honestly, I really felt that way because it was really bad. And I think that the club, obviously, you just move on. And they got Dave Watson, and then I went back, physiotherapist worked on me. Honestly, did some great stuff and that, training really hard. And I eventually got back. And I was on the subs bench, on subs bench, and someone got injured in midfield. and I went on and I played in midfield. Then I stayed in midfield that season to the FA Cup, to the final in the Elite Cup, and that's where I stayed. Yeah, and then after that, I went back to partner Dave Watson following season at the back, and it was great to play alongside Dave, great player. And we had a good run in the league. I think we lost it by was it Ipswich who won it or something like that. Lost it by a couple of points, that's all.
Yeah. Now I said this. We spoke to Terry Phelan last week.
Yeah.
I love Terry Phelan, and I'm going to say the same to you, Tommy. I think you would be a really good player for Pep Guardiola because of your versatility. That, you know, you're saying that you could play, you're inside forward when you started your career, but, you know, you're central defence, moved into midfield as well. You sound like, to me, the perfect Pep Guardiola player who's able to play in a variety of positions. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, the only thing is you missed the goalkeeping bit out as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Clean sheet, you know, I'm not really big.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Kyle Walker's been in goal, so yeah, as is Tommy Booth and Niall Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! So you from you know, what were the hardest? There must have been a couple. Being at City for so long, you had some fantastic highs. What were the real low points for you at your time at the club?
To be honest, truthful, I didn't have that many. The only one I did have was the Wolverhampton game. I remember going down to Wembley and didn't know much about Wolves at all, especially the centre forward, Derek Dugan. And I thought, no, I don't know much about him. Like, anyway, during the warm up before you kicking off, I looked across and I had a look at this Derek Dugan, and he had a Mohican style haircut, and I thought, who the bloody hell's he? Like, yeah, Mohican style. I thought, who's that? I tell you what, by the end of the game, I knew who it was. He absolutely battered me. Honestly, I mean, we got beat 1-0, but honestly, I've never. Everything was like, you know, when you're young, like, and you're gonna meet the ball nicely. He never gave a moment's thought, elbowing, kicking, going late in tackling. Honestly, he was like a defender. He was like a defender marking me. I mean, honestly, and I learned more in that game than any other game, and I just realised, yeah, you got to start protecting yourself, and which you did, yeah. But it was just a thing to me, like saying, like, yeah, this is what you got to do. And I learned from it, and it was Dave Ewing was the coach at the time, and at the end of the game, he just said, "Oh, well done, Tommy, well done." And I looked around at him and I went, "Dave, no, it wasn't." He went, "I'm so glad you said that." So he was more or less saying, you know what you've got to do, and it was an eye opener, and it certainly did, yeah. I mean, getting them days, it's not like now where you can't sort of like, you can close down, but there's no tackling from behind. I mean, in our day, like, everyone was tackling from behind, you know what I mean? And it was, as well as the forwards wearing shin pants on the front of the shins, they wore them on the back, some of them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was, I mean, there was some teams you'd go to. Leeds United would have won. Leeds United. I mean, a few years ago, I was doing the hospitality, and Leeds. Someone said, "Oh, Tommy, a few of the ex-Leeds United players are in the box. They've asked you, would you come over?" So me and Joe Corrigan went round, and we've seen a lot of them, and we went, "Oh my God!" You know, I mean, they were a hell of a side. They could play as well, but they were nasty.
Yeah.
You know, they were a good side, Leeds United. Yeah.
Were they one of the hardest teams you played against?
Are they what? Sorry.
So were they one of the hardest teams you played against?
They were in their day. Honestly, on their day, they were the hardest team. Not just playing against, but contact football as well. I mean,
That's his
they
name.
knew they could look after themselves, a lot of them. And in them days, you needed to do that a little bit, because I mean, like I say, a lot of the tackling, and he's rightly so. I mean, because you're not going to. I mean, years ago you could get behind with tackling from behind and getting the ball, where you're going through, taking the centre forward out or the winger out or whatever. Like,
yeah. I've got to read this team out, City team out, for when we did lose that League Cup final against Wolves. We had McRae in goal, Pardo, Donachie, Doyle, Booth, Towers, Summerby was captain, Bell, Lee, Law, and Marsh.
Crikey.
That's some team, innit? That's some team.
Yeah. That was the time when Marsh, when we'd finished when the game had finished, like he wouldn't go up, would he? He wouldn't go up and get his medal.
No.
Marsh. No, he wouldn't go up and get his medal. No. But I'll tell you another story, lads. The 1969 Cup final. Do you remember who played on the left wing?
No, I don't. Go on.
I do not.
No. He played. I'm trying to get his. He went to Australia. Malcolm brought him over. What was he called, the winger? Because I've got a great story about him. Anyway, what it was anyway. So we win the
Tony
final.
Coleman. Tony Coleman.
We win the final. So we're going upstairs. Oh no, sorry, we win the finals. Yes, and we didn't go up the stairs, and they presented it along the pitch. And Tony's coming along saying, and we're all like, well, what do you say to her? You say, hello, ma'am, hello, princess, this and the other. And no one had a clue what to say. So she goes along the line, and the first one is obviously Tony Booth, so he just shakes hands, and then he leads her down the line. And the first one is Tony Coleman. I said, oh, this is Tony Coleman. He went, all right, love. How's your mum and dad?
How's your mum and dad?
And listen, we all went, what? She went, oh, she said, oh, be fine, thank you. He went, tell her I was asking about him, won't you? We're all like, all we did, we just nodded your head and didn't say a word, but him, TC. Honestly, that's what he did. He just, but this was before the game, because that's what they did. She was being introduced before the game, so, and he just sort of like calmed us all down to run out. Then, you know what I mean?
Hello, Blues. That's the end of part 2. I hope you're enjoying it. If you listen to this on a podcast, if you jump over to your iTunes player or Spotify player or however you listen to your podcast and leave us a review, that'd be fantastic. And if you are enjoying this, 5 stars. Reviews and stars on podcasts really help our global branding to obviously reach out to other people that enjoy listening to these podcasts. So anything that you can do for us and leaving us a review is warmly welcomed. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment of which player you'd like to see us interview next. I hope you're enjoying it, and if you play part 3, it should be next on the playlist.